Hey Cincinnati, it's Stacy. I'm at the end of a very long and I feel successful and truly humbling day of campaigning. But I'm feeling very emotional right now. And some weeks ago I started the A Day in the Life of a Campaign. One, to show people just what it takes to run a campaign, especially a small one where you don't have a whole lot of help necessarily, um, in case people were curious or wanted to run someday as well, so they kind of have an idea of what it looks like. But I also wanted to start it for the sake of authenticity. I also want people to be able to see, what it's like emotionally or mentally to run a campaign and to run for public office. Um, so if this is oversharing, I really do apologize, but I feel that this is important for people to know more of the reason as to why I'm running for city council and why at the end of a great campaign day, I'm usually left just kind of very, very emotional. Um, I don't know if anyone has ever seen the show WandaVision. Um, but if you haven't and you plan on watching it, then I am going to spoil some things. So you can either skip ahead or skip altogether. Um, but in the show, everything that Wanda does is an act of grief. Everything that she does is because she's grieving and she's trying to make meaning and purpose and sense out of her loss, while also trying to get back some of what was stolen from her. And of course, when I when I watched that show, it really struck a chord with me personally, because much of this campaign is the same. Um, when I was in college, my freshman year, I started out as a music education major. I wanted to be a high school choir director. But at the end of my freshman year, my cousin, who was my rock and my biggest support, my hero, honestly, he died by suicide when I was a freshman in college. And ever since then, everything that I've done as far as my career has been exactly that, an act of grief. There used to be 5 stages of grieving. Now there are considered to be 7. And one of those is called the testing stage, where essentially you're trying to make something out of the loss. So if you have an individual who loses a loved one and they start a charity in their name, or you see individuals who have fundraisers or things like that, or become very vocal about the issue or health problem that their loved ones succumb to, that would be considered testing. They're trying to make good out of their loss. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of times during this campaign, I find myself to be emotional and quite frankly in pain at the end of the day. Um, because I know that none of this is going to bring my cousin back. But at the same time, I desperately, desperately don't want anyone to ever have to experience what I've gone through the last 10 years, and will continue to go through. And I don't want anyone to have to go through what he went through as well. So, a lot of what I am vocal about is, establishing the mental health mobile crisis units, the accessible playgrounds, eliminating the food deserts, affordable housing. And those are absolutely still like my goals and what I want to accomplish, whether or not I'm elected to council. But I want you to know that at the end of the day, all of this, the the foundation of it is because I don't want anyone to experience the horror and the grief that I am. And I don't want anyone to experience whatever it was that my cousin went through. Um, so the bottom line is this is all a part of how I'm coping with the loss. So I think you deserve to know that, because for some people, that may, help them decide to support me. And for others, they may be like, well, I don't want to support her because of these reasons. And I don't want that to be hidden from anyone, moving forward. So again, I appreciate you watching this. I'm sorry that it's, very deep and emotional. I know that that can be uncomfortable for folks. So, but again, I just appreciate you watching, and I appreciate your support. And I'm looking forward to making some positive changes in our city for you. Again, whether or not I'm elected to city council, but hopefully as an elected official. Again, thank you all for your support and your encouragement. It means a lot, and I will keep fighting very hard for you. See you soon.